Welcome back to Basement Philosophies, where the conversation can go anywhere. Just a disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor, so anything we discuss here is just my personal experience and not at all medical advice. Let's get to it. I'm your host, Brittany, and I'm so happy that you're... Hello, lovelies. It's Brittany. I'm so happy to be back. I get so excited now on podcast days, and I don't know, it's just exciting for me. So let's see, I am getting close to having my baby, so I don't know how I feel. I'm trying to wrap my mind around the fact that there's going to be this human baby and no one's going to be like her, and it's crazy. And I just keep thinking about it. I'm like, it's almost like I've been pregnant forever, and now we're getting to this point where everybody's like, she can come anytime, and I'm like, wait, what? I just don't think about it, because you're just like, I'm just gonna be pregnant forever, like this is it, this is my life. But no, there's like a reason why this is happening, and she's gonna be here, and I just don't know what to expect or do I am excited though. I'm excited to see her and meet her. She's just gonna be this miracle baby. I'm working like diligently to get all my schoolwork done. So many papers to write. So I need her to come at least on her due date or after. But because I'm trying so hard to get done with my semester, but it's just so much work. Not complaining. I'm just saying it was just more than I anticipated. So I just work hours and hours every day trying to get that done, because I just want to be able to just focus on my birth. But right now it's just like papers and complex trauma and sexuality, therapy, that's like what I'm learning right now. And so it's like I'm focused on that when really I want to do like this, or I want to just, do nothing or just rest, which I am. Things are changing for me, like physically, like I do feel like different in my belly, and I don't really sleep, but I do rest a lot more. I'm sleeping a little later in the morning, because normally I just get up, make the coffee, get my fiance's lunch together and things like that. But right now I'm just gonna lay here for a little bit. So I just been resting. Like yesterday I tried to nap because I got no sleep. I tried to nap, but it didn't work. But I still just, instead of taking my walk, I did lay down. But today I'll take my walk. I feel a little better than I did yesterday. But I've really taken a turn in I've always been, a hermit in some way. But now, like, the hibernation that I'm doing right now is very obvious. I just want to be at home. I just want to be by myself, honestly, with my dog. And there was a moment there where, I want my fiance to be here, but he doesn't necessarily have to be in the room with me, But there was a period where I was just so clingy, and I needed the touch. I needed the physical touch. And granted, I didn't always get it, but I craved it. I craved, just the physical person being next to me. I needed that. But right now I don't really need that anymore. It's more of like just me being alone in the quiet. Like I haven't turned the TV on. Like the TV comes on when the fiance comes home from work. I don't turn it on. A lot of it though is because I can't work with noise and do homework. My brain's just not like that. But it's just me and like room, or just going for a walk by myself, or just being with the baby, not necessarily talking, just being there like in the moment and quiet. And I don't like, people will text and be like, how you feeling? I don't mind that, but it's just, if I go out in the world, I don't like it right now, because there is something about pregnancy that just brings the worst out in people. I don't know. Like, I mean that with as much love as I can muster up, but honestly, not one person that sees me this pregnant, which again, I'm smaller, so they don't realize that I'm so close, but they're just so not supportive. It's just so, and oh my God, and oh, that's scary, and oh, well, hear my terrible story. And right now, I'm just interested in keeping the peace. Like, I can worry myself, I can do all the things, and I can go down the rabbit holes, and I have to an extent, but right now, I'm educated in what can go wrong, but I'm choosing to envision what I want for my birth. Now, I know there's no way of knowing. There's no, like, I get all that. I get it. But I'm choosing to envision what I want for my birth. And I don't need these crappy stories. Like, I just don't. So I kind of just want to be alone. I want peace right now, quiet, calm. I just need that right now. And so I'm just doing whatever I can to make that happen. But today I want to talk about, like, the spiritual component of pregnancy. I know a lot of people just roll their eyes. Birth is so medicalized, especially in our society. But, and then, like, people look at birth, being pregnant, all of that is such a burden. And I know why. It comes from, a very real place. But I'm trying to move away from that. Because it's just like these mothers, I'm not blaming mothers. I'm just saying, like, just like the whole, oh, you're never going to sleep again, and oh, your life has changed forever, and not in a good way, and you will never thrive because you have a baby and that's what your life is now. And I get all of that. I get where it's coming from. But to just assume that I can't thrive while my baby is thriving, I don't know. I don't want to live that way. So as my baby grows, I want to grow, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to make happen for whatever reason. We have this misconception that babies are just these blobs. But honestly, my belief is, babies are closer to God than we are. That's where they came from. The veil is very thin when we're pregnant. And I can attest to that because of just the changes and the way that my mind works and all of that. But babies they're little spiritual miracles, and they teach us, or can teach us, so much if we allow them to, in my opinion. That's my belief. I know I don't have any children of my own yet that are here with me. But the baby, the birth of a baby, and to have them here with us can be truly healing, and can change, and it changes us for a lot of different reasons. And one thing that this pregnancy has done for me, aside so many things, I could go on and on. I'll probably have a show set aside for just the changes that have happened. But one of the biggest things was that this pregnancy kind of called me back to my body. You know, we're taught to ignore our bodies. I call it like the cult of experts. We're supposed to trust all these experts, like what's best for us. And that is apparent now more than ever, you know, because of this virus. But we're suddenly not supposed to trust what's best for us anymore. And I can't get on board with that. And what this pregnancy has done is it has like called me back to my body, because I was disconnected. I mean, it is no secret that I was just running amok and had no real path. Like, yeah, I was in school, but you know, I was kind of in the middle of that, and that seemed never ending. And I was just kind of just coasting through my days, drinking all the wine, kind of numbing myself just because I didn't know where I was going. And I couldn't make anything happen. I don't know, it was frustrating. Like, I was very stagnant. And now I'm not so much stagnant as I am resting. But I was just stagnant, desperate for something different, although I didn't know what that was. And I really wasn't doing the work as much as I could have said that I was. No, what I was doing was drinking wine. That's what I was doing. And I don't know. It's just been a rude, because like when I was pregnant and I was originally pregnant with twins, and I lost one of the twins. So after that miscarriage, I remember telling my therapist, I am 100 million% not pregnant, but I don't know, you know, I do feel like there's something happening, but I'm not pregnant. Only I was super pregnant. I just didn't know that I was still pregnant because there was a second baby there. Like, and I don't know, like maybe that was the disconnection that I had. Like, I didn't even know. I would have swore on my life that I was not pregnant. And I was. Like, how did I not know? And I've said this before, what pregnancy has done for me is made me really honor myself as a woman. Because as I said before, I think that's, you know, the feminine, even both energies are being heavily attacked right now. Like these gender identity crisis things and all of that, it's mind-blowing to me, for one. But what this pregnancy has done, it has brought me back into this body, and it's made me truly honor like what this body is and what I am as a woman. And I'm proud to be a woman. And that's not something that I ever said before. You know, it's always been like, yeah, I'm a woman, that's what I am, you know, whatever. And then, but like, I would just be like, yeah, I don't really talk to a lot of girls, like friend wise. Like, I don't know. I talked about that too. Like, oh, I have nothing but guy friends. Yeah. There's a reason for that. Okay. There's a reason for that. And it's just, I guess I didn't have the respect for, you know, that feminine energy as much as I do now. And it's just this, I don't know, it's just crazy radical change in me, because I've never struggled. Like, I've never looked in the mirror. I've hated how I've acted, but I've never hated like what I saw. I'm like, I'm a woman. Yeah, great. Whatever. It wasn't like a thought. But now, like, I'm just like, I'm this woman. I'm so amazing. Like, look what my body's doing. Look at all the things that my body does. Like, look at the nurturing nature of women, you know, like all of that stuff. And it's just so beautiful to feel this way finally. And I just, like, that's one of the main things that this pregnancy has done. And I think there's a lot that can be said about that. This pregnancy is, you know, it's birthing and pregnancy. It's all such a learning experience in like so many ways. And it's like breaking me open in ways that I've never been broken open before. It's kind of like, how like after a breakup, it hurts and all of that, but it kind of breaks you open. Like when your heart is broken, it breaks you open. You see like all of these different things that you've never ever seen before. And that's kind of what pregnancy has done for me. And that sounds sad, but it's not in a sad way. But I will say that the darkness in the world is so prevalent. And the darkness in me, like I have seen it so much more now being pregnant. And again, sounds bad, but it's not bad. I'm finding the light in my own darkness kind of thing. And I'm shedding light on all of this darkness. And just there's such a difference there. And these changes in me, they've brought about such disruption like in my life, and not good. Like my relationship, it has really, I don't know, it's just, I wouldn't say imploded. It's just my relationship has significantly been disrupted because of this pregnancy. And not because the baby is not wanted, not because my partner didn't want the baby. He does. He did. He does. He's so excited. He can't wait to meet her. Talks about everything. He thinks about her and he loves her. So I don't mean like disrupted in that way, but disrupted in the sense that I have changed so significantly that it's so obvious to my partner. And, he's so used to me being one way, and I'm not that girl anymore. And I never will be. There's parts of me, yes, are there. I'm not saying like I was such a bad person then and she's not coming back. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm becoming what this baby needs. I have a belief that babies choose you, for whatever reason, and that I'm turning into the person that this baby needs, whatever that may be. And there are times when I don't even recognize myself, and it's just such a crazy experience. I mean, and it was even last night that my partner had said, I miss white wine Brittany, which is crazy because he's complained about her nonstop forever. And so to hear him say that, I don't know, I think it kind of annoyed me because he's been complaining about white wine Brittany for months, and then suddenly, he misses her, or he just says, I miss white wine Brittany because this emo Brittany sucks, because I cry about everything. And I straight up was like, you act like pregnancy is not this big, huge thing. He just acts like it's just another little thing. But no, like my body literally is not even my body right now. I don't know what it's going to do next. And I was just like, and you don't even like white wine Brittany. What are you saying right now? And I was like, and before I even got pregnant, you always said I would be super mean. And he's like, and you're not mean. You just cry about everything. And I'm like, you're just not satisfied. Like, what's your problem? And I was just irritated about that. But, I know like he's just trying to voice that I'm different now. And I don't know if he's handling it all that well, or I don't know. And I don't know like I don't know what that means for us in the future. And I don't know, but I'm trying not to, go there because I don't really know what it means right now. I don't know. It's just a crazy experience. just to have all these changes. And I read something, and I just, for the life of me, cannot think of her name. It was like a podcast or something. I don't know. If you're really interested, just let me know and then I can find it. But I just listened to this podcast, and how many, because you can talk to like a lot of different people, and they'll say, yeah, all of this big changes, these big transformations, these big transitions happened while I was pregnant. It's just like not the time for that. And I get it. Like, I can totally resonate with that. And because pregnancy is such a learning experience, or has been in my experience, I find that, all of my fears are being illuminated, and that in itself is both scary and annoying, right? And I have said it before that I'm not really like a relationship person. So I avoided them for a long, long time. And this relationship that I'm in now, it's been one of my first ones in a really long time. So there's a lot of fear. I carry a lot of fear when I'm in a relationship, which is, I didn't always know that. It's obvious now. But it's where, when our fears when they present themselves to us, it really, really shakes us up, right? So when stuff started popping up in my relationship, it really, really shook me. It really, really shakes me, right? Because I hold so many fears when it comes to relationships. And I'm not blaming like my partner. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying like, this is where I am with relationships. Like, it's not my strong suit. And so when things started to pop up, it just, really shook me and has shaken me throughout this entire pregnancy. And it's been a learning experience to learn how to navigate these things in a way that are healthier, right? So I can, and I'm not even saying I'm doing a good job. I'm just saying that it's happening, and here I am doing it, the work, but it's different in a sense that I am aware now of what's happening as opposed to just reacting. And I'm learning to respond, but I'm also at the same time learning to give up that control, because I'm always trying to control something so something bad doesn't happen. That's one of the biggest things that I'm working on. And it's not easy, but like the fact that I'm doing the work, it's I give myself credit for that, even when I am not doing the best that I can. So my point is when things, started to kind of get shaken up in my relationship, it made me really look at like, hey, what's going on here? What are my fears here? And maybe that's what I'm doing. Like when I'm sitting in a room, not listening to anything, just kind of going over like everything that's happening in my life. And you're faced with all of these fears. And so, I'll look at all this turmoil and I'll be like, what is this telling me? Like, cause I can't help, I get angry too, but I'm just like, what is this telling me right now that I need to know? Like, what do I need to let go of here? Is there something that I'm doing? Whatever, whatever it might be. And, when our relationships, we can run away from painful experiences. We try to run from our emotions. But then, the universe or God, whoever, it will happen so that you have to look at these things, right? So you're faced with these fears, but when you become a mom, you're not allowing these fears to take over. You're kind of confronting them. So the things that you were once afraid of, you're not so afraid of anymore because you're confronting them. I'm realizing now that all of the things that I feared, now that I've acknowledged them, I realize that they weren't necessarily true, and like, you have to find like, what is it that I have security in? What are my false securities? Because I need to know, like, you need to know these things. You need to understand these things. And you need to know why they're false. Because if things fall apart or they break away, you need to know that you're going to be okay, kind of thing. And I'm not saying like me and my partner, I'm going to let go of my partner. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I need to rely on rely on myself more, have more trust in myself, not put all of that on other people. Like, I need to have some faith that I can do these things, right? Because I can see now that I didn't think so much of myself. So I thought I was incapable. And I'm coming to find out that no, like, I'm important too. I have power too. I made myself powerless for whatever reason. That's something, that I've been trying to navigate as well. But I've since, I'm coming to a place where I'm like, no, I have power. I'm not powerless. Like, I am competent. I'm a good woman. And I've talked before. I shared a story about having a conversation with the spirit of my baby or the soul of my baby, except she wasn't really a baby. I don't know if you remember that. But, she said that she was here to teach us something, like teach me, because I was like, why on earth did you pick me and why did you pick us to be your parents, basically? And we were just kind of laughing, and she said that she had things to teach her father and that she had things to teach me too. And one of the things that she wanted me to know is that I was capable of being her mother, and I was capable of giving her that kind of love. And because apparently I never wanted kids because I thought I wasn't capable of being a mother to someone. So it's like heartbreaking but beautiful at the same time. So that was something, that's one of the reasons that she said she was here. And so sorry. And so that was like a seed that has been planted in me. And I'm like, if I'm capable of mothering this child, growing this child, giving birth to this child, where am I capable in other areas of my life? And you have to be okay. Like, I know that I have to get to a place where if things fall apart, I have to be okay. That's what my baby deserves. And that sounds like I'm preparing for the worst. And I'm not. Like, I'm not preparing for the worst. I'm just saying, like, I need to be so comfortable with myself. I need to be independent, in a sense that I can grow and change, and it wouldn't matter if someone could not do that with me, no matter who that someone is. Because I've said it before, we get so desperate to bring everybody with us when we grow and learn and move forward. We want everybody to come with us and move forward and grow with us. But we don't always get to do that. People don't always want to be around that. People want the old you, especially if this person hates boundaries and hates, you standing up for yourself, who used you as a doormat. Like, these people still want to take from you. And when you stop giving, they don't like that. And, since then you have to let them go. Kind of like that. And these people don't want you to change. They still want to use you. So, in that sense, you need to be so comfortable with your growth that you're okay with wherever life brings you. And I think that's like the point I'm trying, to make here. And it's just, it's fun, but it's hard. And there was a time, and there are still moments where I'm just like, I'm gonna miss me, but like, I'm still there and I'm becoming better. So I'm not sure like what I mean when I say maybe I'll just I don't know. It's just, maybe I'll miss my time before I was a mother. I don't know. I really don't understand what I'm gonna miss because there wasn't really that much great happening. I was just a drunk running around lost and numb. So am I gonna miss that? No, I don't think so. So I'm not really sure like what because she served her purpose, and maybe that's just what I'm doing now is letting go of that version of me, but I'm growing into someone that's, better, more loving, a little less rough around the edges, less drunk, clear-headed. I have some focus now. I have a reason to wake up in the morning other than having another bottle of wine, like it's about navigating this life, but from a different perspective. I've always made my decisions based on fear. I've, picked the crappiest jobs because it paid more, or any job because I, needed one. I've probably missed out on meeting some really great people because I was afraid of meeting new people, or I was afraid of taking a new opportunity. Like, I sometimes wonder where I'd be if I took certain opportunities, but that game's it's not always the best game to play, right? Because I'm here for a reason, and if I didn't make the choices that I did, I wouldn't have this beautiful baby on the way. And so I don't know, but I just think about it sometimes, and it's just, this has been such a growing, learning experience, and I'm changing in so many ways, and it's becoming very obvious to people around me. And it's just my, where I'm standing firm, where my boundaries have been such a hard thing for me. And I used to have a hard time, I've always accepted that I'm different a little bit. And I have no fear of, saying my opinion, but that doesn't mean that I could easily, it was kind of easy to persuade me, or to keep me, quiet, or I would maybe change what I really, really wanted, or compromise, I should say, because it made someone else happy to do so. And what my pregnancy has taught me is to not waver, especially when I truly, truly believe in something. And while I can still practice saying what I mean in a nice way, I'm still not afraid to say them. Kind of like, even because like before, if I needed to say something that I knew would be painful for the other person to hear, not in a mean way, just, like, hey, like, this is destroying whatever, or you're hurting me kind of thing. Like, you are hurting me and I can't have you keep hurting me. And you don't want to say that to people. At least I didn't want to, just because I didn't like confrontation or a fear of backlash. Like, I didn't like that. I would avoid confrontation at all costs. But I'm not that person anymore because I'm trying to find my voice, but I need to find it. No, I don't need to. Like, I have a voice, but I'm so loud about it kind of thing. Not like I just, if I have something to say, I don't really soften the blow. Like, I say it. And the consequence of that is really hurting people. And I don't mean to hurt people. And, I don't want to hurt anybody. And then like, that was a whole nother level of this pregnancy. I've kind of just sort of thought about all the people that I've hurt and the people that I did owe my apologies to. And I did I did apologize to some people, and like one of my friends, we're not friends anymore. But I kind of dropped a bomb on her and I did not do it lightly. And it came from a place where I was sick of the position that I was being put in. But in an effort to get out of that position, I hurt her. It's not all entirely my fault, right? But I hurt her, and that's what I apologize for, because I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to bring joy to people's lives. I want people to come in contact with me and they're better for it. I don't want people leaving my energy, my presence, having regretted it, And so that's just like something that I've just wanted to kind of have a clean slate, if you will. And that kind of brings me to like one of the points that I wanted to talk about. I won't go way into detail about this because it's really personal, but I remember I said I would share, so I am going to share this next part with you. So in my own therapy, we have started to work on my inner child, and I go and I spend time with, the little version of me, like the child version of me. Remember how silly and crazy I thought that was? And I mean, I still do, but I still do it. And I think being pregnant has allowed me to do it because I am giving up control in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways is the way like my mind works. So if you've ever been hypnotized, or if you meditate or anything like that. So I did a past life, I forget, past life regression once before, and you kind of get in like a hypnotized state. But it's not what you would think. It's not like you don't know what's happening. You're just very, very relaxed, and you let your brain kind of show you what's happening. So I couldn't always do this because I would manipulate my thoughts and make them go basically where I wanted to go. And now I'm getting to a place where I can allow these visions or thoughts or whatever play out however they need to play out. And I just kind of watch. And I don't try to control it. And it helps that I don't know what to expect, right? Because I thought working with your child self was stupid. And it's not something I've ever done. I don't know like what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's easy, because I don't know, it's easy, just to be a spectator. So I have been doing that, not for very long, but a lot of stuff has been uncovered. And it's not really memories, it's emotions, the emotions that she shares with me. And she gives them like words, things like, she said she doesn't feel wanted, or she is invisible, or, she tells me why she's angry with me even, she's like, yeah, you kind of irritate me, this made me mad. The only reason why I felt that is because you judged me, that was like an interaction that we had. And, she talks about how sometimes she doesn't feel needed and how she has no purpose. She says all of these things. So we've just kind of been going through that, and we just kind of have conversations. I give her gifts. We talk, we laugh. And it's a weird experience because my brain could easily be like, this is stupid. This isn't real. This is fake. But just like when I was hypnotized with my past life regression, I'm just letting this play out as well, because what is it hurting? I don't know if it's real or if it's not. I don't know if I'm making it up. It's kind of like the unknowns are there, but I don't mind. I'm just letting it be unknown. I've kind of given up the control of needing to know. And it's really like, I don't know, I'm learning a lot. She's said a lot of things that make a lot of things make sense now. Like one of the bigger things is me being a burden. And that plays out in my life every single day now that I'm an adult. And it's not something, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, my parents did this, or I'm blaming my childhood. No, it's not that. I don't like that. I don't like when people do that. It's more of just like, she said this to me, and I can see that playing out in my life now. How I'll try to do everything I possibly can to not be a burden. And if I do feel like one, or if something is said and it triggers that in me, I have a weird reaction. And I see how I still have those reactions. It happened like a couple days ago, and I was like, whoa. It's true. But yesterday I did a little session, and I timed them because I'm just curious how long. And this one was a little over 20 minutes. And this one, it really, really affected me. And it was a little different than all the other ones because, now she explained to me that she was scared. So this is my child self. And she explained to me that she was worried about me not needing her when the baby comes, like me forgetting about her, the little version of me. And because we talked about the baby, and I assured her the last time we talked that I needed her. I wanted her, like she's a part of me, and I want her to be a part of all the process. And that really made her happy, right? And this time was a little different because it wasn't me bringing her gifts and her love and her, it was more of her kind of coming to me. And she took my hand and she brought me to my grandfather's old bedroom, and she was watching a cartoon that I used to watch as a child. Doug. I don't know if y'all remember that cartoon. So many people thought it was so boring, but I loved Doug. And was it Peppermint Patty? I don't know if y'all remember, but I just loved that cartoon, and they would have marathons. And I was like, why did you bring me here? And she said, because you need peace. And she was like, you had a lot of peace here. You had a lot of peace at your grandparents' house in this room watching your cartoon. And she said, can we just like sit here for a while? And I said, yeah. And we sat there for a while. We didn't say anything. And she looked at me and she said, I'm done feeling mad. I don't want to feel mad anymore. And I said, why are you mad? Like, why do you feel that way? And she didn't really answer. She just said, I'm done with that. Okay, well, if you're done with it, like, good. And she just kind of sat there. Nothing was really said. No answers were really made. Like, she didn't answer, really. And she touched my stomach. And she told me just how special this baby was. And she just looked at me. And I was like, okay. I was like, I know she's special. She's like, no. This baby is magic. And I don't know what that means. I guess everybody thinks their babies are magic, right? I don't know. But she had her little hand on there and she said, no, this baby is magic. And then the most surprising thing happened, and in walks my grandfather. And if you know me, my grandfather is my soulmate. He is just the best man in the world. And I grew up with him, and I love him, and I think about him every single day. And he walked in, and I couldn't believe it. It's like when people meet their, favorite celebrity or whatever. It's like that. I was just starstruck. And I just ran over there. And I was holding little me's hand, but I hugged my grandpa so tight. I couldn't believe, he was there. And he hugged me too. And he just kind of looked at my stomach. And he said how special the baby was. And I didn't even listen. I was just like, I miss you. I can't believe, I miss you. I love you. And he was happy to see me, but he just had, it was almost like he was busy. I don't know. But he was just he had something to say. And he was just like, the love that you knew I had for you, that that I have for you. He's like, you need to do more of that. The world needs more of that. He's like, it's basically saying, I showed you a type of love for a reason. It's because you're supposed to be extending that love out, just as I did with you. He's like, the world needs more of that love. And little me just sitting there yeah, I gave you this gift, and I was just like, okay, and he does eventually leave, and I hug him bye, and I say, thank you. And I said, but I'm supposed to be doing stuff for you. And her response was, well, this is what you needed today. And she said that she was happy to be there for me in this way. She was happy to do these things for me. And she said she liked being there for me. And I didn't expect her, to do anything. Because when this first started, we were pretty disconnected. And I was almost like two people. So, and I watched a broken version of me interact with her with no problem. And then I couldn't. That since has ended, but this part of me would go to her and be like, what do I need to do? Like, what do I, give me answers, right? Like, I was only coming to her to find answers, and I wasn't coming to her to be with her, spend time with her. And, and she said, I like it better when you're not expecting anything from me. And, and it made me feel kind of bad, but then I was just like, I'm glad that you told me that. Like, that says a lot. And she was basically like kind of solidifying how I don't need to expect so much from other people either. Like, I need to know that I have something in me that's much bigger, and I don't give myself credit for that. And then, like, of course, the last thing I was like, well, can I ask you a question though? And she laughed and she's like, well, yeah. And I was like, my grandpa just said that I need to love the world the way he loved me. I need to love others the way that he loves me. And I was like, what do I need to know? What do I need to learn? And she's like, you don't need to learn anything. She's like, you just need to do. And I was just like, wow, you're a smart little person. So it was just, I don't know, it was just like this amazing experience. And I couldn't believe that my grandpa was there, because he is just my favorite person in the whole world. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you because I told you, like, when being pregnant, it is true that it does seem like the veil is very thin. A lot of people talk about their dreams and their prophetic dreams and stuff. My dreams are just weird. So while I've made a note of them, it's not really the biggest part of my journey. Maybe it'll all make more sense later on, but right now, none of that really, they're not good dreams. They're not nightmares. They're just not good. Like, I'm not even gonna get into what in the world I dreamed about the other night, but it was just crazy. They're not speaking to me. I don't wake up being like, wow, that was really profound. Like, no, I'm just like, that was effing weird. What the hell was that? And so I wanted to share with you how it's evident that the veil is thin in my life. And I think working with my child self and having these moments, or when I'm sitting here having conversations with my baby, or at least my mind is, I don't know, like, it's not really things that I control. It's things that I kind of let happen and I'm a witness to. And if the veil wasn't thin, I don't believe that I would be capable, of doing that. So, this work I'm doing, this inner child work that I'm doing, and, the fact that she's there and she's small and she's excited about the baby. She tells me how magical the baby is. And then she brings my grandpa here. Like, yeah, that's all evidence to me about how, the veil is so thin. So it's just been a really magical learning experience. And while not all of it has been easy, it's all been very eye-opening and very beautiful and just mind-blowingly life-changing. And so many people miss out on this, because they're so caught up in their fears, I think. And while my fears are presenting themselves to me, they, at the same time, they're presenting themselves in a way in a very disruptive way sometimes, where I have to see them, and I have to see them for what they are, and I have to learn from them. And I wake up every day a newer version of myself, and it's just been really, really beautiful, but empowering too, because like I said, I've been giving up so much of my power. I've been feeling so powerless, and I'm slowly gaining that power back. So that's been my journey so far. I'm going to keep recording these as long as I can, because like I said, I do plan on taking a break, of course, when the baby comes, and then when I start back again, it'll be my season 2, and then we can get into all of the stuff that I've been wanting to, but I can't really comment on. So I'll share my experiences and everything like that, and my birth story, and why I, my choices, what happened, everything, and what went on. And we'll get into all of that. But right now I can't, talk about that stuff, because I still have to live it and all of that. But just thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And if you want to contact me, please do. So sorry about that. You can go to my website, basementphilosophies.com. Email me directly, basementphilosophies@gmail.com. I do have my Instagram. You can contact me there. My dog's walking around. And just a reminder, our wounds, they're our teachers. And when we look into our wounds, we reveal the cure. So just don't be afraid. Keep walking forward. Look those fears right in the eye, and understand that you have a purpose here. And if there is any way that I can pray for you, please contact me and let me know, and I will make that happen. I love you all so much, and I will be here next week as long as baby's not here. So I love you. Bye.